Good morning, everybody. Myself, Rajiv Nair, and I, along with my fellow colleagues, Mr. Narendra Singh, Mr. Siddharth Sonakia, and Mr. Vijender Singh, we are here to present our project on conservation and monitoring of flora and fauna. So, this project is basically Colombia-based project. And before I go to the details of this project, let me introduce my company, what it is. This ONGC Videsh, this is an international E&P company. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of ONGC. It is 100% subsidiary of ONGC, which looks after the international projects to explore oil and develop oil field in the foreign countries. So we have different 32 projects. At present, we have 32 projects in 15 countries. We have in different stages. 14 of them are producing, 4 are discovered oblique developing, and 11 are in exploration phase, and 3 pipelines we are involved in. So we are having the geographical coverage. If you see all around this, if this you see through this slide, we are covering geographically in Latin America, in Colombia, in Middle East, North Africa, and as well as the CIS country. We have coverage with the Mozambique. We have coverage with the Asia Pacific that covers our Vietnam, Myanmar, Bangladesh. And we have our stakes in Russia. Well, today this project is being talked. What is being talked about? That is in Colombia with Colombia. This is a So this project, this is the project what we are talking about. This project is regarding conservation and monitoring of flora and fauna. This basically our project, because our company is involved in the hydrocarbons. So we are writing that the project sector is hydrocarbon. But as in our social and environmental responsibility towards the country where we are working, this project is being carried out. Sir, this project area is basically this Mansarovar Energy is the company which is a joint operating company where we are 50% partner. The other partner is a Chinese company, and the Campo Velasquez Campo is basically field. Velasquez is the field area in the Colombia where this project is being carried out. So, sir, this project basically was initiated in 1st January on 2018. At present, it is almost 4 years old, and this duration, this where we're presenting the data, this covers our 4 years. It is still continuing. This project is still continuing. So regarding what this project is, this monitoring and conservation program allows demonstrating how it is possible to preserve areas even with the operation of productive projects such as hydrocarbon. Basically, what it is, sir, where we are exploring and developing our oil field, it is the 6.12% area is a forest area. In that area, where we are having our coverage area, it used to be 6.12% is our forest area, and we are keep preserving it and protecting this area, the flora and fauna of this area, along with our activities. That is what we are doing in regarding this project. And the preservation of this area and the indicator of richness and how we are keeping the richness in the biodiversity maintained. We will see that we are maintaining the much better indexes from year to year onwards. At present, we are almost at 4 biodiversity index. So we are able to identify in this area that how much endangered species are, how to protect them, and we are taking measures to protect that that species also and the fauna also. So what problems we are trying to solve? This activity, this is the area which basically what I told earlier, that this is our oil field activities area, and this conservation area is also nearby around it only. So what are the changes in the composition of fauna and flora in the sensitive habitats? And the other is forest fragmentation, and the third one is illegal logging, and the fourth one is loss of endangered species. What is happening that the area, the forest area, which is part of our oil field area, we're trying to conserve the flora and fauna in this, and whether so that we can protect the species regarding fauna as well as our flora to maintain to protect our endangered species. You will see that we have some endangered species which are maintaining in this area, and it has also and in this area, when this was not properly being maintained, our forest area got fragmented. That got separated into small blocks. But with the applying of this project, we are able to maintain it in a much proper manner. And this we will see that with this help of this also, illegal logging. Illegal logging means some people cutting the trees and something like that. By protecting this, we are able to stop this also, and we are able to protect some endangered species also. So what challenges we faced when we went for this project? Basically, see, it's a very normal thing. The people who are staying in the communities which stay in these areas, they're not properly literate one. They know much less about though they are environment friendly, but they know much less about the ecosystem, how to preserve that, how to conserve that. So that was the major challenge where we, our teams, our companies, and with the help of the experts, they have to basically make them satisfied that this project is basically for their betterment and for the betterment of the environment. The other one, the flora resource has been affected by the illegal logging of the natural forest and the indiscriminate. So anybody going for the illegal logging, this project is also affecting them. So they were the challenges. You can say these were the disinterested community as well as the person interested in logging were the challenges which were faced for the company. So how we went ahead with the process for our deployment and implementation of this project. So first of all, we analyzed the area in the term of biodiversity and flora and fauna as a baseline. What I understand, we were able to, in that particular demarked area where we wanted to work, we were able to analyze how much species are there, how much families are there, and what is their quantum, and basically how much they are varied. And the other is establishments of the limits of the area of interest and identification of properties under the control of the company and properties of other owners. So we were, first of all, we had to identify which is our area and which is the area of the other owners. So that was fully demarked and our action went ahead like that. The other is initiation of monitoring and implementing of training measures, installation of wildlife signages. So we started monitoring this, the flora and fauna in this particular area, and we gave trainings to the community people there and gave to our employees also. The company gave to their employees so that how to maintain the biodiversity and how they trained the persons sitting in the staying in the community, trained them, made them look out the importance of the biodiversity and as well as the ecosystem and the different wildlife signages. For the protection of the species, they were also placed in the area so that people can take care. And then the calculation of indicators and determination of effectiveness of the measures. This was not that we were doing just like that. It was that from the time to time, we went on calculating the different indicators and find out with the help of those indicators, we were find out of how our measures are being affected. So that was being undertaken. The different indicators, what I'm talking about, the biodiversity index and the other parameters that were being taken care of. What were the innovative aspects and governance practices we took care in this project? So in Colombia, this is the first area where the state of the forest is being monitored as a biosensor area, setting an example in the Colombian oil field operation. So wherever in Colombia oil field operation is being held, our this company has been in the forefront to make it a biosensor project. Biosensor, I mean to say that we are able to monitor the how many species and fauna are there with the help of different equipment like cameras, like camera traps, like shaman traps, hawk traps, different type of instruments were taken, and the population of the species of flora and fauna were taken care of every 6 monthly. We take record of every 6 monthly. One in dry season and one is rainy season. We take the count of the species, different species. We take the count of as well as the fauna as well as the flora. So, and then
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Kindly keep the time limit in mind. You have just 2 minutes left.
Okay. Thank you. So this was the governance practices. That was the isolation of area under conservation, implementation or training we gave, then monitoring implementation, then report to be, we report it to the environmental authorities of Colombia, and they also monitor these results. And this program is approved by the their environmental authority, that is ANLA. And what were the solution implemented? So we know the and preserve the status of wildlife and flora present in that particular biosensor area of the. This is approximately 192 hectare. What I just want to tell you, that is the 192 hectare area is basically this preserved area, conserved area, through monitoring of composition, richness, and plant, and that is the relationship. And the other is monitor the status of the biosensor area, reduce the extinction, and increase the biodiversity index. At present, we are at 4.1. Then the change habitat management, different how the habitat has to be managed. That activities were also carried out. So we can see, sir, it is just an image comparison. This is that is particular area where I am talking about. So this is a satellite image of the 2014, and the other is the it is not 202. It is showing it is 2022. The present one, you can say. So it is saying that the whole forest got connected. Otherwise, it was in the fragmentation. So it was total connected area. So we can see how much greenery has come up and how this flora and fauna has expanded. So this is the outcome of the project. So we can see that in year 2022, a known species has been identified as umbrella species with hatchlings, puma concolor, and leopard's pardalis, which is an indicator of the ecosystem conservation. So these umbrella species are the species basically who take care of the other species also. So by having this umbrella species like puma concolor, it's a cat. It's a cat family, and the leopard pardalis again another cat family. So we are able to conserve the ecosystem there itself. So between the years 21-22, biodiversity indicator is what I was talking about. It has come out up to 4. The multi-temporal analysis of birds, we also kept the count of this. How many species, how many families of the birds are there? Till now, we have reached up to 42 families of identified birds and 102 species. This species diversity by index has also we take care of how much it has changed from the last year. So at present, we are saying that the 100% increase has been obtained. So what are the benefits? What are the benefits of this project? Basically, we are able to maintain our environment ecosystem. The increase in population of species which are being extinct, that we are able to maintain. So synergy between the production, we are producing the oil as well as we are preserving the area where we are working. So it's an environmental thing which we are taking care of, and we have strengthened the connectivity to the forest area. And we are saying that in this 2023 we are having the it's almost $70,000 we have earmarked for this project, which is approximately 0.6 crores. So, sir, this project can be implemented in other companies, maybe in India, maybe in Colombia, anywhere, so that we can identify the areas, we can see what the biodiversity status at present is, and how we can do the different type of activities and monitor and say what are the we can train the people and see how the things are improving, and we can use it in our natural parks or protected areas and take care of help of this. These are some photographs, sir. What we have done in our areas, you can see some threatened, endemic, and in protection. These are the birds, what I was talking, and the other things which I was talking. This is the umbrella species, Puma concolor. It is umbrella species which is protecting other species also. So thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, and thanks for having a patient hearing from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Very good project. I have seen your slide wherein you have compared the 2014 data area with the 2022 picture. It appears from the 2014 picture that there may be some degraded forest also. Was it there?
Sir, there was a degraded forest also, as well as there was a fragmented forest also. The things were as we are seeing in the 2022 image, that the forest looks quite connected. Forest looks quite connected. and there was a fragmented parts in the blocks, and with all this conservation, we were able to make it a well dense forest.
It means how much is the forest cover now?
Sir, it is
And what was
basically, it is not exactly in the terms, because at present, if we say it is 192 hectare at present, the area being covered, and it is approximately 6.12% of the area where we have, because it is not the fully area, our area is also marked by the country. We can't go anywhere and see. For our project, the area is marked for 100 square kilometers, and this now it is almost 6.12%. And the dense, you can see, even in the slide, it can see that we were able to make dense forest. And that density, the full dense forest, high dense forest, that we will make make it up to 40 hectare in total. That is a fully dense forest, the way I can say.
okay. Last observation is that, sir, since ONGC is an Indian company, do you also propose to replicate this model in India also?
Sir, we can talk about this to the organization and then see how because
Sure.
Okay, right, sir.
Sure. Best practices definitely need to be replicated
Right,
for
so it is
for the benefit of the country.
it is for ONGC, it is for other who can even our conservative, the protective parks also can apply this. So,
Sure.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Outstanding work, sir. Thank you.
Sir, as far I know, in India, Ministry of Forest and Environment is there. And there are very stringent guidelines that whenever some project, mega or a major project is there, then protection of flora and fauna is a part of DPR. So, what is your take on this, sir? What is so special in your project? I couldn't say anything because it's a part of your DPR. You have to do this. Maybe the country you are talking of, that country also have some norms that whenever you do some operations, some engineering activities are going on, then you need to spend some money on this type of activities. So what is so unique about it?
The uniqueness is that, okay, you are very correct. Whenever you go for any exploration and like this, where I say it is an environment impact assessment. Whenever we do this, the environment impact assessment give you some obligation to fulfill it. But the point is that sometimes it becomes mandatory, sometimes it becomes obligational also. So how much we care for this, as I'm saying that this project is being started from the 2018. We understand that this Colombian, at present, the Colombian government, that is a more environment friendly, but earlier was not so, but we still took it. And it is being monitored by the environmental authority of the NAI. You are very much correct. That is something obligation also, but not very much compulsive also. So uniqueness, you can always you are able to see that we are able to protect some endangered umbrella species. We are able to increase the forest cover, and and we are able to we are able to satisfy the communities which are staying there. We have taken into our confidence, and that has they have come up along with our activities. That is most important thing, sir. In a foreign land where the people are quite satisfied with your performance in the oil exploration as well as taking care of the environment where they were living, that is a much more achievement for us.
So invariably you are saying that it's a CSR type of thing which you are doing in.
Sir, CSR is a different thing. It's not a CSR type of a thing. CSR, we do other things also. It is an environment protection thing. We are protecting the environment. It is not I will not say it's a CSR. CSR, we do wells also. We take care of the communities in another manner by directly doing CSR. But by protecting the flora and fauna, I think we are not doing anything great to the community. We are making them understand what it is important for.
But that is not part of your job.
That is part of, sir, as you are saying, that's what I'm saying. That is part of our job. because as you are saying that we have before carrying on any exploration activity, we undergo EIA, and that makes up some obligation to us also, which we do also, and sometimes we.
I got it.
we
I
may
got
do-
it, sir. I got it. That is a part of EIA activity.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार। मैं वर्तमान में विशेष सचिव हूँ अर्बन डेवलपमेंट डिपार्टमेंट में और डायरेक्टर हूँ अर्बन ट्रांसपोर्ट में। एक्चुअली जब मैं 1 वर्ष पहले इस विभाग में आया तो यहाँ पर एक बहुत ही अच्छी योजना चल रही है, कान्हा गौशाला जिसको कहते हैं, या निराश्रित पशु संरक्षण योजना के नाम से प्रसिद्ध है। बेसिकली माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने जब पहली बार शपथ ली, उसके बाद एक बड़ी समस्या थी पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश में, वो थी कि जो डेस्टिट्यूट काउस हैं, बोवाइन एनिमल हैं, वो सड़क पर अत्यधिक संख्या में घूम रहे थे। लगभग ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में 10.5 लाख से अधिक गोवंश थे और शहरी क्षेत्रों में लगभग 80,000 गोवंश विद्यमान थे। उसके कारण जो सबसे बड़ी समस्या आ रही थी, एक तो किसानों की खेती खराब हो रही थी, दूसरा NSSO का डाटा कहता है कि पूरे देश में 0.15 मिलियन पर ईयर एक्सीडेंट से लोग जान गंवाते हैं, जिसमें लगभग 15 से 20% संख्या डेस्टिट्यूट्स एनिमल के साथ यदि किसी का एक्सीडेंट होता है उसके कारण जान जाती है। और तीसरी और बड़ी बात यह थी कि जो जीव दया है, जो भारतीय संस्कृति और परंपरा का एक उच्च आदर्श है, उसके लिए भी इस पर काम करना था। तो इसी के लिए ये योजना आरंभ की गई और वर्तमान में हमारे यहाँ पर लगभग 513 गौशालाएं हैं, जिसमें 76,000 से अधिक गोवंश संरक्षित है। और मार्च में डेडलाइन दी थी माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय ने कि मार्च तक 100% जो गाय हैं जो सड़कों पर भटक रही हैं या खेतों में हैं, वो 100% गौशालाओं में आ जाएगी। तो इसी के तहत ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में जो गौशालाएं हैं उसमें 10 लाख से अधिक गाय आए और जो शहरी क्षेत्रों में गौशालाएं हैं उसमें लगभग 76,000 गायें वर्तमान में गोवंश आश्रय केंद्र के अंदर है। इसमें 2 कार्य किए गए थे। एक लगभग 1.65 करोड़ का एक गोवंश के संरक्षण के लिए गौशाला या जिसको एनिमल शेल्टर कहेंगे उसका निर्माण करवाया गया, और दूसरा गाय के चारे के लिए, भूसे के लिए, उसके मेडिसिन के लिए 30 रुपए प्रति गाय प्रति दिन दिए जाने लगे। और इसके साथ साथ जो लोकल बॉडी है उसका भी दायित्व है कि यदि 30 रुपए से पूर्ति नहीं हो पा रही है तो मेडिकल और अन्य जितनी भी सुविधाएं हैं वो सारी की सारी सुविधा जो अर्बन लोकल बॉडी है उसके द्वारा प्रोवाइड करवाई जाएगी। वर्तमान में उत्तर प्रदेश की सड़कों के ऊपर जो गोवंश है वो न के बराबर विद्यमान है, और उसमें भी माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का स्पष्ट निर्देश है कि यदि कोई भी गोवंश पाया जाता है तो तत्काल प्रभाव से जो एनिमल एम्बुलेंस होती है उसके माध्यम से या कैटल कैचर होता है उसके माध्यम से जो गाय हैं वो गौशालाओं में तुरंत पहुंचाई जाएगी। और यदि कोई व्यक्ति बार बार गाय छोड़ता है तो उनके खिलाफ दंडात्मक कार्रवाई भी की जाएगी। तो इस तरह से ये स्कीम शुरू हुई, किंतु वर्तमान में ये स्कीम एक नए स्तर के ऊपर जा पहुंची। यदि हम बात करें केवल काउ प्रोडक्ट की तो पूरे प्रदेश में अभी मेरे आने के बाद मैंने एक आदेश जारी किया था कि जहां पर भी अंत्येष्टि स्थल है शहरों में, वहां पर जो गो कास्ट होता है उससे बने हुए जो गो कास्ट है उसी से अंत्येष्टि संस्कार करवाने का प्रयास किया जाए। इसी के तहत हमारे 17 के 17 नगर निगम और बहुत सी लोकल बॉडीज के अंदर काउ प्रोडक्ट के रूप में जो पहली चीज तैयार हुई वो तैयार हुई काउ डंग से बना हुआ गो कास्ट, और उसी से वर्तमान में अंत्येष्टि इत्यादि क्रियाएं की जा रही। दूसरा जो हमारा मेन है वो है कि दीपावली हो या होली हो या अन्य कोई भी त्योहार हो तो काउ के जितने भी प्रोडक्ट हैं, काउ यूरिन से बने हुए और काउ डंग से बने हुए, उन सभी की एक शो प्रत्येक गौशाला में खोली जा रही है और ज्यादातर गौशालाओं में खोल दी गई है। यदि कोई लखनऊ में कान्हा गौशाला देखे तो उनको लगेगा कि हम किसी गौशाला में नहीं आए, हम किसी तीर्थ स्थल या पर्यटन स्थल के ऊपर आ गए हैं। वहां पर न केवल गोवंश के लिए एक बड़े स्तर के रहने की सुविधा है, वहां पर उनकी सर्जरी भी होती है, जो बाहर एक्सीडेंटल गाय हैं उनकी भी देखरेख होती है, और उसके साथ साथ विभिन्न प्रकार के जो पेड़ पौधे हैं, गो सरोवर है, और अंदर हमने एक कार्ट की भी सुविधा उपलब्ध कराई है जो ई कार्ट है, क्योंकि गोवंश जहां रखे जाते हैं वो सामान्य रूप से गौशालाएं बड़ी होती है, तो एक व्यक्ति भ्रमण नहीं कर सकता, इसलिए ई कार्ट के माध्यम से भी पूरी की पूरी गौशाला में सबको घुमाया जाता है। नवग्रह वाटिका हो, बच्चों के लिए उद्यान हो, यदि कोई बच्चा घूमने आ रहा है तो, इत्यादि सारी की सारी सुविधाएं हमने गौशालाओं में दी है, और ये गौशालाएं भविष्य में उत्तर प्रदेश के नए तीर्थ स्थल के रूप में दृष्टिगोचर होंगी। और एक और जो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण काम हुआ है, पहले जब अंत्येष्टि की जाती थी या अन्य कोई भी कार्य किया जाता था तो उसके लिए पेड़ काटे जाते थे और पेड़ों से लकड़ी जलाई जाती थी, लेकिन वर्तमान में जब गो कास्ट या काओ प्रोडक्ट का उपयोग होने लगा है तो एक बड़े स्तर के ऊपर जो लकड़ी है वह भी नहीं कटेगी, हमारे पेड़ भी बचेंगे। तो गोवंश संरक्षण न केवल एक्सीडेंट को कम करता है, किसानों के लिए खुशहाली लाता है, अपितु जीव दया के काम के साथ साथ पर्यावरण के लिए भी हितैषी है। थैंक यू सो मच।
डॉक्टर साहब, आपका और हमारा जो प्रेजेंटेशन है वो ये दूसरी बार हो रहा है इस विषय के ऊपर। आपने पिछली बार भी जब आप शायद पूर्वी उत्तर प्रदेश में चीफ डेवलपमेंट ऑफिसर थे, सीडीओ थे, तब आपने एक प्रेजेंटेशन ऐसा ही दिया था। इसमें सर मेरा ये पूछना है कि आपने जैसे बताया कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का ये आदेश है कि मार्च 31 तक सभी जो डेस्टिट्यूट एनिमल्स हैं वो सारे के सारे गौशाला में तो ट्रांसफर हो जाएंगे या सड़कों पे इस तरह से नहीं दिखाई देंगे, जिससे कि किसानों की जो फसलें हैं वो नष्ट ना हो। ये एक बहुत बड़ा कंसर्न है, छोटा मोटा कंसर्न नहीं है। पर्टिकुलरली मैंने मुजफ्फरनगर यूपी का रहने वाला हूँ, मुजफ्फरनगर जिले में ये एक बहुत बड़ी समस्या है, जिसकी वजह से देखिए हर आदमी तार नहीं लगा सकता, ना ही तार लगाना कोई सोल्यूशन है, उसको तार को ही लोग काट करके ले जाते हैं, ऐसा भी है। तो ये जो है ना, मतलब इस बात में कितना कॉन्फिडेंस है कि भाई मार्च तक ये प्रॉब्लम सोल्व हो जाएगी?
मुझे कॉन्फिडेंस ही नहीं है अपितु मैं आपको कह सकता हूं कि बहुत सारे डीएम्स का प्रमाण पत्र आ चुका है कि हमारे यहाँ पे 100% बोवाइन एनिमल को हमने संरक्षित कर दिया है, और 31 मार्च तक 100% जो गाय है वो संरक्षित हो जाएगी। काओ का जो डेस्टिट्यूट होना है वो किसान और दुग्ध पालक पर निर्भर करता है, तो जो नियमित रूप से दो चार तो लगातार आती रहेगी। जैसे आज भी मैं एक जगह देख रहा था तो एक गाय मुझे रास्ते में दिखी, तो मैंने तुरंत नगर आयुक्त को फोन किया, तो क्या सर हमारे संज्ञान में नहीं है, ये आज सुबह किसी न किसी ने छोड़ी होगी, हम पता लगाएंगे किसने छोड़ी, उस पर अर्थदंड लगाएंगे। और उस गाय को पकड़ने के लिए उन्होंने कैटल कैचर भिजवा दिया। तो 31 मार्च तक काफी जिलों में 100% संरक्षण हो चुका है, और रेस्ट ऑफ जितनी भी काउज हैं उनका संरक्षण 31 मार्च तक हो जाएगा, और जो नई छूटेगी उनका लगातार संरक्षण होता रहेगा, क्योंकि ये निरंतर चलने वाली प्रक्रिया है। ऐसे नहीं कह सकते कि आज 100% हो गई तो कल एक भी नहीं बचेगी। हो सकता है कोई दुग्ध पालक यदि गाय दूध नहीं दे रही है और उसके लिए आर्थिक रूप से वो बोझ के रूप में मान रहा है तो उसे पुनः छोड़ दे, तो उसको भी संरक्षित करना पड़ेगा। लेकिन मैं एक चीज विश्वास के साथ कह सकता हूं कि 99.99% काउज अपने गौशाला में होगी, और वो अच्छे उनको पोषण भी मिलेगा, मेडिकल फैसिलिटी भी मिलेगी और अच्छा शेल्टर भी मिलेगा।
दूसरी बात डॉक्टर साहब, ये जो 30 रुपए प्रति गाय का जो एक फिगर है, एक्चुअली ये काफी कम है। थोड़ा सा आप गवर्नमेंट लेवल के ऊपर इसको थोड़ा रिव्यू करा सकते हैं। शहरों में तो पॉसिबल है क्योंकि म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस के पास अपने फंड होते हैं, लेकिन गांव में या देहात में जो कस्बे वगैरह होते हैं वहां ये मुझे लगता है कि 30 रुपए वाली जो फिगर है इसको रिवीजन होना चाहिए।
जी, एक प्रेजेंटेशन माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय के यहाँ पशुधन विभाग के द्वारा किया गया है, क्योंकि मैं काना गौशालाओं का पूरे प्रदेश का नोडल हूं तो इसको मैं ही देख रहा हूं, और वहां पे जो प्रेजेंटेशन हुआ था उसमें 54 रुपीज पर काउ पर डे के हिसाब से दिया जाना एक प्रस्ताव रखा गया है। लेकिन इसमें
जी,
मैं
जी।
आपको एक बात बता दूं कि 30 रुपए के ऊपर कोई प्रतिबंध नहीं है, क्योंकि 30 रुपए जो जियो में लिखा हुआ है ये एक सहयोग के रूप में राशि दी जा रही है। अर्बन लोकल बॉडी को यदि लगता है कि गायों पर 10 रुपए, 15 रुपए या 20 रुपए के रूप में और अधिक व्यय किया जाना चाहिए, तो वो स्वतंत्र है उस पर व्यय करने के लिए। एक और जो कंसेप्ट मैंने सीडीओ रहते लागू किया था, वो शहरी क्षेत्रों में लागू नहीं हुआ, लेकिन हम प्रयास कर रहे हैं कि गांव का थोड़ा थोड़ा क्षेत्र शहरी क्षेत्रों के साथ कनेक्ट करके केवल चारा उगाने के लिए वहां पर हम ट्विन चारागाह का कंसेप्ट भी लागू करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, ताकि किसी भी गौशाला का 78% एक्सपेंसेस केवल और केवल हरे चारे या सूखे चारे या भूसे पर होता है। तो यदि वो वाला प्रोजेक्ट कामयाब रहा तो भविष्य में हमारी 100% जो गाय हैं, गौशालाएं हैं, वो इंडिपेंडेंट हो जाएंगी, चाहे वो दूध दे या दूध न दे।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर साहब आपका। और अगर आपको इस विषय में मुझे कोई और ऑब्जर्वेशन होगा तो मैं निश्चित रूप से लिबर्टी लूंगा कि मैं आपसे कांटेक्ट कर सकूं।
नहीं, मैं आपसे टच में रहूंगा। एक्चुअली
जी, जी,
मेरे को
जी।
इतना अच्छा लग रहा है कि जो मैंने 3 वर्ष पहले प्रेजेंटेशन आपको दिया था, वो एज ए सीडीओ रहते हुए दिया था, और संयोग से उस समय भी हमारी जो गौशाला थी वो प्रदेश में नंबर 1 थी। और
जी।
आपको मैं एक और प्रसन्नता की बात बताऊं कि गोवंश न केवल जीव दया का या सरकार की प्राथमिकता का विषय, अपितु मेरे भी हृदय के अति निकट विषय है। तो जैसे ही
जी,
मुझे
जी।
डिपार्टमेंट मिला, मैंने किसी को नहीं कहा, तो अपने आप ही काना गौशालाओं का जो सेक्शन 7 है विभाग है, वो मुझे अलॉट हो गया। तो ये
जी, जी,
सहयोगी था। उसमें फिर हमने 3 चीजें और तैयार की है, मैं आपको बता देता हूँ। एक,
जी।
हमने काओ मैनुअल तैयार कर दिया है। प्रत्येक गौशाला की एक एसओपी होगी, एक मैनुअल होगा, उसी के अनुसार गौशाला संचालित होगी। दूसरा, प्रत्येक गौशाला जो नगर निगम क्षेत्र के अंदर है, उसे तीर्थ स्थल और पर्यटन स्थल के रूप में बनाने के लिए माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय के मंत्री जी ने स्वीकृत कर दिया है। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय को हम भिजवा रहे हैं। जो इनोवेटिव काना चैलेंज है, उसकी हम शुरुआत कर रहे हैं। और जो थर्ड है, वो सारी की सारी जो गौशालाएं हैं, उसमें हम प्रयास कर रहे हैं कि जो काओ डंग और काओ यूरिन है, उसका बेस्ट यूटिलाइजेशन कैसे किया जाए। उसके लिए हमने एकेटीयू और अहमदाबाद के आईआईएम से एक कोऑर्डिनेशन स्थापित किया है। वो हमारे लखनऊ जो गौशाला है, काना गौशाला, काना उपवन कहते हैं जिसको, वहां पर अपना शोध भी कर रहे हैं। हो सकता है भविष्य में उनके शोध का जो परिणाम है उसको हम पूरे प्रदेश में लागू करते हैं।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर साहब आपका। जो है ना, आपके रहते हुए निश्चित रूप से ये सब काम बहुत से संपन्न होगा, क्योंकि आपका जो पैशन है, पिछले 3 साल पहले जो प्रेजेंटेशन हुआ था और आज भी जो हुआ है, वो निश्चित रूप से सराहनीय है। और शायद उसका कारण भी ये है क्योंकि आपने उस दिन बताया था कि भाई मैं पहले टीचर था और राजस्थान से आप बिलोंग करते हैं। मेरे अच्छे से एक एक प्रेजेंटेशन की स्लाइड मेरे दिमाग में है, वो इतनी इम्प्रेसिव थी। तो आपका बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन साहब, ये आपने
और
बहुत ही अच्छा काम करा है।
आपकी स्मरण क्षमता और मेधा क्षमता की दाद देनी पड़ेगी कि आपको
बहुत बहुत अच्छा जी, धन्यवाद डॉक्टर साहब।
धन्यवाद, नमस्कार।
यस सर, शर्मा जी की जो रिटेंशन पावर बड़ी स्ट्रॉन्ग है। I worked already worked with him, so I know that, sir. Sir, the work is really good. पर इसके अंदर में कुछ टेक्नोलॉजी का भी यूज किया जा सकता है, जैसे हमारे कोई चिप वगैरह हम गाय के अंदर में लगा सकते हैं ताकि ट्रैकिंग हो सके और मॉनिटरिंग हो सके, या उसको कोई यूनिक आईडी नंबर दिया जा सके, ताकि पूरे स्टेट्स की जो गाय हैं वो सारी अकाउंटेड हो जाए। तो और अगर गौशाला से बाहर भी जाती हैं तो तब भी हम उसको ट्रैक कर सकें, या मतलब उस नंबर को फ्रीज किया जा सके। तो आपने टेक्नोलॉजी का कोई वर्णन नहीं किया, शायद होना चाहिए।
एक्चुअली वो रह गया। मैं आपको 2 चीजें बताऊं। एक तो हमारी 10,76,000 गाय, सभी का ईयर टैग 100% किया जा चुका है। तो ईयर टैगिंग के माध्यम से हमें पता लग जाता है कि कौन सी गाय कहाँ पर है। अभी जो हम नया प्रयोग कर रहे हैं वो एक प्रोजेक्ट है जिसका नाम है गो आधारित उन्नति। उसमें जो गाय है उसका चेहरा स्कैन किया जाएगा और उसी के अनुसार जो ईयर टैग है उससे उसका जोड़ा जाएगा, ताकि भविष्य में टेक्नोलॉजी के हिसाब से भी उसको एक तरह से गाय का संरक्षण होता रहे और कहीं बाहर जाए या उसकी मृत्यु हो जाए तो हमें ये संज्ञान में रहे कि ये जो गौवंश है इसकी वर्तमान में ये स्थिति है। तो टेक्नोलॉजी पर प्रयोग चल रहा है, लेकिन ईयर टैगिंग वाली जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, जो ओल्ड टेक्नोलॉजी है हमारी, वो 100% ईयर टैगिंग हमने सभी गौवंश की करवा दी।
गुड। मुझे तो लगता है कि हमारे को एक स्टेप और ऊपर जाना चाहिए कि जैसे जियो टैग होता है ना, कि हम लोग हर चीज को आजकल स्टेट की बाउंड्री को भी हम जियो फेंस कर लेते हैं। तो अगर जैसे आप इस फील्ड के अंदर में बहुत ज्यादा एग्रेसिव तरीके से काम कर रहे हैं, तो इफ यू सेट अप एन एग्जांपल के टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके और हम हर गाय को मॉनिटर कर सकते हैं, जैसे ही उसकी डेथ होती है तो वो भी अकाउंट फॉर हो जाती है कि भाई इतनी गाय कम हो गई, अब इतनी आ रहे। तो वो शायद हमारी कंट्री के लिए, दूसरी स्टेट्स के लिए भी एक एग्जांपल होगा और उसको फिर हम सभी जानवरों पे भी लागू कर पाएंगे। गुड एफर्ट सर।
जियो टैग हमने गौशालाओं का तो करवा लिया है, लेकिन जो आप जियो फेंस की बात कर रहे हैं वो करवा सकते हैं। वो जब मैं आगरा डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी में था तो मैंने जो जियो फेंसिंग करवा दी थी पूरी अथॉरिटी की, और उसी के आधार पे हम अटेंडेंस लेते थे। तो वो आपका बहुत अच्छा सुझाव है, वो भी हम लागू करेंगे, लेकिन जियो टैग हमने 100% गौशालाओं का करवा दिया है।
एक्सीलेंट वर्क सर, एक्सीलेंट वर्क। टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करना चाहिए ताकि सिस्टम सेल्फ ड्रिवन बन जाए।
यस यस,
ऑल द बेस्ट टू यू सर।
थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक्स सर।
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I am Captain Pramod from Shipping Corporation of India. And sir, our project is that women officers in sailing, women officers sailing on board, means how women officer has started her career in merchant navy. And we are the first company which has started the girls, women officers in Shipping Corporation of India. I know that since 1992, when our first lady officer had joined this merchant navy, Radhika Menon, as a radio officer who was sailing in that time. I remember who started her career in our passenger vessels like Andaman, Nicobar, that area. That time nobody knows that our girls officers or lady women officers will join the tank, all type of vessels, all they will fly all over the world, which we have done after 2000. 8 years since 1992 to 2000, only one officer was there, that was radio officer, which she had also converted from the radio officer to the merchant navy side. And that is our project, how we have started and how we have until what level we have reached so far. That is our lady officers. Recently, last year we have last year 2021, one of our vessels, one Krishna was there. That vessel was fully manned with the lady officers. All officers are ladies. And second, this last year 2022 also, that Swan Godavari, that was the fully manned by the lady officers. That was there. And before that, I should start our introduction. We are the Shipping Corporation, India largest shipping company, and Navratna public sector undertaking. Currently, we are owning 59 vessels, sir, about 531 metric ton deadweight, and managing 70 vessels, operating in 3 segments, like a bulk carrier, tanker, gas carrier, second liner, passenger, and research vessels, and technical and offshore side. Technical consultancy normally to the government department, because we are a public sector undertaking government. Shipping management service, we are doing with ONGC, MUS, and other government departments. World-class maritime, we have achieved in maritime training in Hawaii, about 50 acres that established in 1987, where we are conducting various type of courses like PC courses, post courses, STCW courses, like phase 1, phase 2, all the different type of STCW courses, higher grade of courses. Every type of courses we are conducting in the MTI Hawaii. And we also cater to the national and international trade, and have joint venture with India's largest company, including partnership with the corporate houses. Our vision is to emerge as a team of inspired performers in the field of maritime logistics, offshore port and terminal management, serving Indian and global trade. Our mission to serve India overseas and coastal seaborne trade as its primary flag carrier and be an important player in the field of global maritime logistics with focus on the following. Maintain its number one position in the Indian shipping, establishing a major global presence in energy-related dry bulk and niche container shipping market, evolving reliable and cost-effective business model to exploit emerging opportunity in maritime and allied industry, achieving excellence in quality of personal health, safety, and environment management system. That is our mission. Command officer. Command form an integral part of maritime workforce, contributing to the success of shipping company, ports, offshore service, and health. The International IMO in recognition has declared 18th May as the IMO International Day of Women in Maritime. The day celebrates women in the industry and intended to promote and recruitment, retention, and sustained employment of women in the maritime sector, raise the profile of women in maritime, strengthens IMO commitment to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 5, which is a gender equality, and support work to address the current gender imbalance in the maritime sector. SCI organized a flag off ceremony of tanker Swarna Godavari on 14th May last year, 14th May 2022, with all women merchant officers fleet from the Jawahar Dock, which is called JNPT, on command of Captain Priyanka, Chief Engineer Ms. Supriya Doke, and other women officers were part of the sailing team. The ceremony was graced by the Honorable Union Minister of State, Ministry of External Affairs and Union Minister of State, Ministry of Culture, Srimati Meenakshi Lekhi, as a chief guest, Director General of Shipping, Sri Amitabh Kumar Sir, IRS, as a guest of honor, and Consulate of Japan as an honored guest. That is the overview behind. This is the second exemplary voyage that SCI has sailed toward promoting diversity and inclusivity in the Indian shipping industry while making global footprints. First one with that that called MT Swan Krishna, and second we have celebrated with the same, that is this one Godavari last. Notably, SCI for the first time in the global maritime history has achieved the feat of executing an all-women officers sailing on board a tanker vessel Swan Krishna from JNPT. That voyage was from Mumbai to Wadinar, Gujarat, on the eve of International Women's Day 2021. MT Swan Krishna and MT Swan Godavari, both are the tanker vessels, carries this proud tradition forward and gives a clear message to the world that Indian women seafarers are fully prepared not only to be the master of their own destiny, but also lead the world maritime industry. That was some pictures which we had last celebrated, that with Swarna Godavari. That was our CMD and ministers. That time with the lady officers. That is the award ceremony going on. Well, first, where ministers is doing yoga with the on board. All moments is happening on board the vessel. This is flag hoisting is on here. That was the vessel which was Swan Godavari. It's a crude carrier, about dead weight about 80,000 metric ton. These are the officers with Swan Godavari. These are officers in 2021 with Swan Krishna, all ladies officers. Challenge. Shipping has been traditionally a male-dominated industry. We have never thought that when we joined in 90s, that time nobody thought girl will join the merchant navy, because this profession is really difficult for the male. How it's possible for the female? But how times are changing since 92 to 2000 till 2002. Only one lady was there. In 2003, we have started a special batch that called a special 1993 batch that 3 girls cadet joined, and that thing how it moves now. We are finding that every batch is average 2 to 3 girl cadets are coming. So shipping has been traditionally a male-dominated industry, maybe because of the nature of job, which involves managing huge cargo vessels in open sea and oceans, which are prone to nature's hurry. There is a limited availability to certified lady officers with tanker experience in the Indian maritime industry. Because once even they are coming in this field, they have to go with many other certifications, which need a lot of time. So that because of that, it is required to go through and some tanker type of vessels, sometimes a bulk carrier, containers. The different type of vessels are there. There are different requirements. So for the putting on the tanker, we are not getting the suitable number of officers. But slowly, we are finding available. We are finding the sufficient number of girl officers. Now, slowly, they are taking over as a matrix officer also. They are having sufficient experience to run on the tanker. Gradually shift in the perception of seafaring as a male-oriented profession and the principle of diversity and inclusion that SCI upholds. Age relaxation and fee concession to aspiring female cadets through its maritime training institute to promote their integration into the maritime sector. Initially, we have started with that. That time we are planning to. We have taken even the free. We are not charging any fee to the girls cadet, but slowly 50%. We have come on 50% nowadays. We are charging. SCI is the first Indian shipping company to start recruiting women seafarers. SCI offering 50% concession in the tuition fee to women cadets enrolling for their training courses conducted at our Maritime Training Institute, Mumbai. SCI also provides safe working environment for women working on board of its vessel. While posting women seafarers on board the vessel, it's ensured that there is another woman on board to be as a fellow seafarer or supernumerary wife of some of the ship's staff. SCI has been a pioneer in the Indian recruiting women in its fleet. 57.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Kindly keep the time limit in mind, sir.
Okay.
Kindly conclude next 2 minutes.
Yes, I mean 57 women posted on board SCI vessel in the various capacities from the master to all ranks. Assured around 22% of total residents employed considered work women, which include SCI CBO. Our chief CBO is also women. This percentage is much higher than the other Indian central public sector enterprises, which implies equality opportunity irrespective of the gender. SCI women seafarer continue to be exceedingly well, and award conferred by the IMO to Captain Radhika Menon is illustrative of the fact. National Union of Seafarer India has in May 2020 recognized the SCI for employing the highest number of women seafarers. So this is the award we have got. This is that called SCI has been continuously engaging women seafarers on its vessel for the past several years. Women officers has worked successfully with male officers in many of our fleet. All women officers, MT Swan Krishna, Swan Godavari, certainly great achievement. All women will definitely possible future to subject to the commercial schedule and fulfilling the matrix requirement of the vessel. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Captain Pramod ji. Very good presentation. In fact, our sisters are doing excellent job, not only in merchant navy company like yours, but also in army. Things are changing.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Army. Yes, sir. Right, sir.
Yes, yes. With the help of Supreme Court and other forums, definitely they are scaling new heights. Excellent work, sir. All the congratulations and appreciation for the Supreme Corporation of India for such an initiative.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No specific question, sir. All the best to you.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Members, myself Krishnendu Banerjee. I'm the Deputy Manager of WBSIDCL. Basically, before starting this PPT presentation, I want to give some introduction of our WBSIDCL, that what we do. This WBSIDCL Small Industries Development Corporation was established in the year 1961 under the aegis of Micro, Small and Medium and Textiles Department. It was then CNSSI Department of Government of West Bengal, with the sole objective of promotion, infrastructure and extending marketing support to the MSMEs, which is having low investment capacities by high potential in respect of employment generation. Thus, over the years, this WBSIDC think that what marketing support we give to the MSMEs during the COVID, Yash and Amphan, and serving various government offices and departments, including hospitals and private parties. Sir, you are all aware that the third slide. Sir, you are all aware that in the year 2020 and 22, this West Bengal has faced countless challenges related to coronavirus, that is COVID-19. Not only West Bengal, but all over the India, around the world, and a large-scale devastation which has also been caused by this cyclone Yash and Amphan. So during these trying times, this WBSIDCL has relentlessly served the various government offices, departments, including hospitals and private parties, by supplying these hand sanitizers, float disinfectant kit for the COVID purpose. We have also supplied this cot, bedding items for quarantine centers. We have set up these quarantine centers at different hospitals and the places as earmarked by the government from time to time. We also supplied this disaster kit for the affected people of Amphan and Yash, and also supplied soap to the midday meal so that they can be helpful for the COVID period. This 3-bucket trolley, biomedical waste bins, bags, and modern labor tables all have been associated with the COVID period. So our organization basically in these trying times of COVID, Yash and Amphan has served the government offices, hospitals through the supplying these items like hand sanitizer, soap, quarantine items which have been set up for the quarantine centers to all government departments. During this pandemic situation, WBSIDCL was entrusted to set up the COVID center at different government hospitals, what I have said earlier, quarantine centers by the Health and Family Welfare Department, Government of West Bengal. So WBSIDCL has successfully supplied cots, saline stand, bedding items, which are the basic necessities of during that time, in the COVID time, for treatment, for more than 1,200 places for setting up such quarantine centers on emergency basis. On the emergency basis means what I am trying to say that at evening we have got a call that we have to set up a bedding things of 50 in South Chobbish Pargona or some other thing. So we have worked overnight to supply those items which for the quarantine centers, and we have ensured that from the next morning these centers have been running conditions so that the patient could come and they could get the treatment from there. Third slide. WBSIDCL also supplied the 3-bucket trolley biomedical waste bin bag from National Health Mission, which is a central project which is implemented in the state at different government hospitals for all COVID vaccination centers. So these COVID vaccination centers, previous slide. These COVID vaccination centers, this needed these 3 things for the injection purposes, this 3-bucket trolley, biomedical waste bin bags. So we have also supplied these things to this in the COVID period. Next slide. WBSID has been interested for supply of 252 numbers of modern labor table at different rural hospital and block primary health center. So you will be astonished to know that during this period, the pregnant women who have been have their delivery times in their early, so they have been facing problems for that delivery because all the beds are been occupied by the such COVID person. So we have been interested by the government to set up this modern labor table for the delivery of the pregnant women and who have been near to their delivery. So we have also done that thing during the COVID period. Next slide. To fight against Corona COVID-19, marketing division of WSIDCL supplied hand sanitizer at different government offices, including health department and midday meal project. WSIDCL successfully supplied around 18,66,171 liters of hand sanitizers from 1st January till date to all the government offices, school, colleges, hospitals, everything. We have also supplied a soap of 3,06,384,90 pieces to different students under the midday meal project to fight against coronavirus COVID-19. WBSL successfully supplied 15,000 numbers of disaster management kits. So this disaster management kit has been needed to that affected person who have been drastically affected by those Amphan and Yash cyclone. So we have also successfully supplied this 15,000 numbers of disaster management kit, which is including of plastic bucket, plastic mug, plastic jug, thala, steel glass, bowl, tumbler, kunti, hata, aluminium handi, aluminium korai, and iron stove for their day-to-day needs, which they have been lost by this cyclone, as per requirement from the disaster management department, to be supplied by the people affected most by the cyclone Yash and Amphan. Next slide. Sir, during such trying times, WBSIDCL has faced a lot of challenges to supply the materials on time, sir. Because at that time, we have been posted as a roster duty. Suppose 5 to 6 people are working on each shift because we have some restrictions over there. And many of our colleagues, staffs have been affected by this corona at that time. But we have ensured that nothing will hamper this supply, because that is the utmost important and utmost thing which we have been entrusted by the government. So apart, most of the staffs are affected by this coronavirus. We have been continuously doing our job on that period by supplying those items which are being on utmost need at that time. So during the lockdown period, due to Corona COVID-19, WBSI stood high to the MSME units, which is what we had mainly done is that the MSME unit in West Bengal are suffered most in that period, sir, because their factories have been closed, everything has been shut down. So all the items which have been supplied to different government offices, hospitals, and everything, we have procured it from the MSME sector only, so that they can. We can help these units who have been affected most in the pandemic situation. So all these things, items, what I have said from my first slide to this slide, have been procured from only MSME units so that they can survive in this pandemic situation. Third slide. So we are showing some pictures of our quarantine center setup and some soap, the sanitizers, which we have done in that period. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Banerjee, thank you very much. Very good initiative. You have provided support, marketing support to MSMEs during these difficult times.
Thank you, sir.
But one of the concern of MSMEs, which is that government should help them in getting their dues from payment efficiently. So what has been to the payment so that they don't feel any working capital issue?
Sir, the payment which you have pointed out is the right thing, sir. We are constantly following up and monitoring the payment from the intending authorities, sir, over from the day they have supplied the items. So we have been monitoring and we have been constantly trying to get the payment on time, sir. we are assured them to get the payment within 45 days of the supply, sir, according to the MSME Act.
Okay, if it is, has it been honored by the companies?
Yes, sir, they are honored by the companies. Some companies are facing problems because our mainly procurement is to supply to the government sector, sir. So once the payment is disbursed by the government sector, we will get the payment and disbursed to the MSME units, sir. So we are trying very hard, sir, to get the payments. We are constantly monitoring, constantly following what the payments, and we have been disbursed around 85% payment of the COVID period, sir, of the supply.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Banerjee.
Thank you, sir.
No specific questions, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Which is given in the next slide. We can shift to the next slide where the contents of the presentation are being shown. The project overview is given in, we will first discuss on the project overview, then we will discuss on the transportation options and the challenges. The next we will take care of the implementation of the final plan on which we have a plan for taking the crane from Korea to India, the loading procedure of the crane at Korea, the unloading method at GRSE, the storage plan for transportation, the storage after transportation, the mooring plan of the vessel, the rigging arrangements which have been done in GRSE, and finally, we will discuss about the key highlights of the project. Coming to the next slide, we can see, if you go to the next slide, sir, if you can go to the next slide, please. We can see that this is basically the project overview where the general arrangement and dimensional details of the crane has been provided. This is a huge 250-ton capacity Goliath crane, which GRSE placed an order in June 2019 on MS SSM Korea for facilitating faster construction of warship in Kolkata main works. The total weight of this crane is approximately 1670 tons with a center of gravity at 37 meter. The top of the girder of this crane is at a height of 51.5 meter. The trolley is having a height of 59.6 meter, with the service crane is having a height of 68 meters. The total span this crane is covering is one inclined berth and one dry dock, which is 116 meters. Coming to the next slide. We had basically two transportation options. One is the plan A was to supply the fully assembled crane from Korea to India and finally to GRSE Kolkata. The plan B was supply of the crane in parts. There were some major concerns and challenges which we faced during both the plans to be executed. For the first plan, for supplying of the fully assembled crane, it was an enormous engineering challenge for transportation of such a tall and a huge crane. There were high risk factors while loading, transportation and unloading of the crane both in Korea and in India. The shipyard is having no past experience or previous record of handling such a type of a huge crane. The availability of suitable vessel for transportation due to limited Hooghly Channel width was also a constraint. Again, the clearance to be taken from KOPT for river transportation was a major concern for us. The obtaining clearance from Marine Water Service for the sea transportation was also another factor which we had to negotiate with them. Finalizing the methodology for sea transportation, the Hooghly River navigation assessment, loading and unloading of the crane, and utilizing the structures available in GRSE for discharging and at arrival ports, all were something which we need to finalize before taking a decision. Coming to the plan B, where the supply of the crane was in parts, we had an acute space constraint in GRSE for the assembly and erection of the entire crane. The necessity of dismantling of the existing functional facilities has to be taken care, which was not permitted for doing this because of the number of projects going on in GRSE main works. The stoppage of ongoing ship production at dock and berth was also not possible. There was a significant challenge involved in unloading and shifting of these huge components of the crane from the vessel by using large mobile cranes. Again, the longer time for the readiness of the cranes was also there. So based on that, coming to the next slide, if we go on for the pictorial implementation, the final option, the plan A was finally taken with the following broad stakes. Firstly, we had to select a suitable vessel to accommodate this mega structure of the fully assembled crane, which is having a span of 116 meter with the width of 36 meter and a height of 16 meters. The approval has to be taken for the methodology of sea transportation, Hooghly River navigation assessment, loading and unloading of the crane by the respective agencies, which was also a long-run process. After completion of the FAT in Korea, the whole assembled crane was shifted from SSM factory to this near the sea on by road, traveling a distance of 2 kilometers for loading. The transportation from Korea to Kolkata through sea with interim berthing of the vessel at Vietnam was done due to the prevailing sea storm. It was also checked in Vietnam the strengthening of the sea fastening so that the vessel does not get untied and gets down into the sea. The unloading of the fully assembled crane from the vessel to GRSC had some difficulties due to the mismatching of the unloading time and the tiding of the Ganges River, which varies from time to time. Based on these options and on finalizing everything, we finally decided to implement the Plan A with these particular steps which were undertaken. Now, if we come to the next slide, we can see some pictorial views how the crane was shifted from SSN Korea factory to the Orient port where the crane was finally shifted into the vessel. The first 2-3 pictures is showing the transporter shifting the crane by road for traveling a distance of 2 kilometers for approximately 48 hours. It took 2 days to shift the crane from their factory to the Orient port, where finally in the night you can see the crane is being loaded into the vessel. Finally, from where it will travel to India. Now, if we come to the next slide, we can see the huge crane which is supported by two stowage structures on the vessel, and you can see the dotted lines which is present over here, where it is showing the total distance covered from Korea to India and finally to GRSC. The distance covered here is approximately 4,100 nautical miles, and after that the crane was shifted to Kolkata. Now, coming to the next slide, my friend will explain you how the process was taken care.
Thank you. As my friend has described regarding the unloading of this Goliath crane, I'm just briefing that our GRSC Kolkata unit is just beside this Hooghly River. So we have transport this crane through this Hooghly River. So we have faced so many challenges. Before that, why this unloading was unique? For that, we can say that shifting this entire crane with the help of this vessel was a very challenging job, and we asked so many questions with ourselves that is it safe to bring this entire Goliath crane through the vessel through the ship route, and also while entering this Hooghly River, it was also a challenging job. So the channel of our existing river is also very narrow, just to accommodate this very large Goliath crane in this. And the third issue was that taking approval from our KOPT, which is Port Trust, who gives the clearance for transporting any vessel, any ship from river channel, and the unloading pattern. So after getting all the things, we have made a plan for this, and we have used the skid rail and cooling winch arrangement for this unloading purpose. So following arrangement were implemented for unloading this crane: stowage plan for safe berthing of vessel with the existing jetty faces, mooring arrangement with the existing bollard was included. Additional anchoring was also done at our jetty unit. Skid rail arrangement, this was basically arranged for fulfilling the requirement to pull the crane from vessel to our existing yard. So pulling wheel system for shifting crane and vessel with existing track. Blasting plan was also made because the tidal situation of our river is very fluctuating, which can go up and down twice in a day. So the blasting plan was also prepared to stabilize the vessel to get a parallel combination of our berth and our jetty. So this is how the stowage plan for transportation was done. You can see over there are two SF towers which was placed on the vessel to just secure this entire Goliath crane, so that it cannot get affected with the inside the sea. Next slide, please. Now, when this crane reaches to our yard, so due to the tidal condition, there was a gap of around 5 meters between the vessel and our existing jetty. So for that, we have made a temporary structure just to fulfill the gap, because the necessary draft which was required for this vessel was not appropriate to so that the vessel can reach to the extreme end of our port. So we have put it one additional structure. Coming to the next slide. Now the mooring for securing this vessel with our existing yard was also a quite challenging job. For that, a mooring plan was prepared, and just to secure the entire vessel, we have made so many points of connection so that it can be secured properly. The next slide. Now, this was the plan through which we have just given a rigging arrangement. For that, you can see that this is the Goliath crane, which is used in nature, and at the both legs, we have made an arrangement for the rigging arrangement through the winch at both the sides. And there was a counterweight which was placed at our existing jetty to just give a thrust to pull this crane from the vessel. And two mooring motors, two winch motors were also placed on the vessel, which was operated simultaneously to shift this crane from vessel to GRC yard. The next slide. So this is the rigging arrangement where you can see the actual picture where this leg was connected with this pulley. Next slide. So this was basically this is quite hazy, but this is the temporary skid which was arranged just to fulfill the gap between this vessel and our existing yard. To accommodate this fulfillment, we have provided a temporary skid sort of thing so that we can transfer this crane from vessel to jetty. Next slide, please. Yeah, the same thing which I was telling, that there was a gap of around 5 meters. This has been fulfilled with the help of this bridge beam. Considering this is the vessel, this was the vessel, and this is our existing jetty. The pulling came from vessel, and now it is passing through the this bridge beam and coming to our jetty. In the next slide, we can see the actual picture where we can see that right now the crane is at the barge, and this is how it is passes through the bridge beam and shifting towards our existing jetty. Next, in the next slide, you can see how the entire process took place. This is the picture when this vessel came along with the Goliath crane, and this is how this is berthing is taking place at our existing dock. This is how winch and pulling system has been arranged, transferring of entire Goliath crane from vessel to our existing yard, and now the crane is inside our yard, and after due erection testing and commissioning, it was inaugurated in the month of June 2021.
In the next slide, we can see a short video. If you can just put on the video, you can see how the crane was. The biggest slide, yeah. If you can click the video.
Here by pushing it will run.
There is a link for opening the video. Down below, down there. So this slide, particular slide, yeah. Down there is a link for opening the video. The arrow which is placed over there, the link is there only. So there.
Sir, I guess the video won't be placed. Video won't be played, sir, due to the size issue.
The video was basically showing how the crane was brought over here and the activities which has been done for unloading it. Next slide, if we come to the basic highlights of the project, it is the first, we want to talk about the expertise the shipyard has gained. This is the kind of heavy material unloading was the first of its kind in GRSE. And from the vessel to the jetty, particularly from the riverfront, it was the first of its kind. The cost and time saving, if we see, it is approximately 3 crores of rupees. And the time saving was over a period of 1 year, because if we had to assemble the whole crane in the shipyard, it would have taken 12 months of time for making the complete crane in a one unit. So that time has been saved. The time bound execution which was there was, we completed the total unloading process from the vessel to the GRSE jetty in 72 hours of time. That was a huge achievement. And the future potential was, this has given GRSE a confidence to bring such crane in futures, and also to share the idea and challenges to the other shipyards for procuring this type of crane for just overcoming such activities, and adding as a force multiplier for the coming projects which are in hand for the Indian Navy and the Indian Coast Guard. So having said this, we can share that HSL is also planning to procure a similar type of crane, and they have also wanted to share with us the challenges which we faced while bringing this crane from Korea to India. So this was the uniqueness of this particular project we wanted to present in front of you. Thank you, sir, for your kind patience for hearing this project. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Goa. It is definitely a very challenging job to do such an engineering job. It is not easy. I have, in my initial years of service, I have also witnessed installation, commissioning of and direction of a 125-ton crane. And yours is double of that.
Yes,
By
sir.
the way, how much time did it take from to travel from Korea to India?
So it took 1 month of time for transportation from Korea to India.
Okay.
We had a small stoppage in Vietnam, which we shared in our slide also, for the sea storms and for checking the stability of the crane in the vessel. For that, we took 1 week of time in Vietnam, and with that, it took 1 month of time for the transportation.
And now the this crane is working very well, fine, not an issue.
It is working under our control only. I am basically looking after this crane as an in charge of this Goliath crane. And from June 2021 till March 2023, the crane is operating fine, with approximately 1,000 of tons of blocks which has been shifted for the P-17 Alpha project, which is going on in the shipyard for the Indian Navy. And it is also working, covering 2 docks. One is an inclined berth and one is a dry dock, where 2 ships are built simultaneously, and then it is providing coverage to both the ships.
Actually, in the PPT, sir, in that video, the entire process was briefed, and that entire picture video was captured, how this unloading and operational activities are going on.
The video didn't open, sir. It is showing
Not an issue. What is the cost of this crane?
Around 180 crore.
180 crores for this crane.
Okay, great job. Thank you, Mr. Goa.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Goa Sahab, is there any agency in India as well who can make these type of cranes?
Sir, earlier McNally Bharat was making such sort of crane, but now they are also financially not stable to make this type of crane. So we have floated a tender globally, but only 2 firms from Korea participated in this tender.
Okay, why 250 tons single crane is required? Is there any alternative as well?
Sir, coming to the projects which we are dealing right now for the Indian Navy, they are doing the large P-17 Alpha frigates, which 3 of us we are making, and 4 of them MDL is making. Now, these particular ships are being done on a mechanism where it is being told that a maximum block part should be done in the shop floor, and it will be erected in the berth. Means we are taking blocks up to the capacity of 120 tons or something like that after consolidation, and taking it in the erection site, which cannot be handled by lower capacity cranes. So this crane acts as doing this type of heavy jobs of taking more than 100 tons of blocks for erection, so that the erection of the ship gets a faster pace and the time taken in the berth gets reduced. It is a concept where maximum outfit work along with the consolidation of the blocks is done outside, and it is taken in the berth only for detection of the ring joints.
Okay, so really engineering marvel, and it should be highlighted at international level.
Thank you.
I think you must have documented it properly so that because we see so many videos on Google that engineering marvels. So
Right,
you
sir.
can you can highlight these type of things from India side.
Yes,
I
sir.
wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.